Hello guys, a very warm welcome to Anks Diary. This is Ankita Srivastava and I'm here to raise the collective consciousness. So, hello there. So this video will cover 4 major topics like what are mind monsters, what causes mind monsters, what are the 3 levels of subconscious awakening, and how karmic debts can really be a biggest blockage in this awakening process. So here we go. So what are the mind monsters? Mind monsters basically your shadow self that goes heavy on your higher self. See, we all carry 2 kinds of vibration in us. One is lower vibration and one is higher vibration. Lower vibration is what I mention as the shadow self, and higher vibration is what I mention as the higher self. So mind monsters are basically that shadow self that goes heavy on your soul, your ego self that goes heavy on your spirit. Spirituality is the conversation, is the cosmic conversation that happens energetically. So when we talk in terms of energy, mind monsters is one of the most low vibrational energy. And let me be very specific here, like we need both kind of energy, like we need both the yin and the yang. We need lower vibration, we need higher vibration, because we can't constantly vibrate in the higher vibration, and lower vibration is what we need to escape from so that we can reach to the higher self. If there is no lower vibration in us, if we born by default in the higher vibration, then first we won't ever get to know that either we are doing something right or wrong, because there is no wrong, there is only right. So that's a very paranoid kind of a state, that's a very mental state, like if we are just in the most good kind of a vibration. Plus we need lower vibration, because no foundation can be set to reach the paradise if the roots haven't gone down to the hell. So we need lower vibration, because we need something to win over, we need something to defeat in order to feel the most truest, authentic possible sense of the victory, like how victory feels like, how winning a battle feels like. If there is no battle, there is no winning. So we need something to win over. So by that, I'm very much clear that mind monsters is something we can't escape from. But here I would like to make my point. Nature doesn't actually teaches not to be in a destructive mode, not to be in the lower vibration. Destruction is okay to nature, lower vibration is okay to nature. What's not okay is the imbalance. The imbalance between the low vibration and the high vibration is where the trouble comes, actually. Is where actually it is the main seed of the mind monsters, when your lower vibration and your high vibration are not in complete balance. We need lower vibration, we need higher vibration, but We need a pure balance to it. Then only mind, body and spirit can work in best possible way. But when there is an imbalance, there comes the mind monsters. So what causes the mind monster? Let's break it down to some specific points, like lack of introspection, constantly staying in denial mode, lack of the courage of breaking a toxic pattern in your life, and last but not the least, lack of the touch of divinity that actually sets your mind right. Okay, so let's talk about the first point, the lack of introspection. So if you don't practice to sit with yourself once in a while, that too in silence, you won't be able to control your subconscious whispering. You won't be even able to have a better knowing of your subconscious, the real you. You won't be able to know because you haven't gone deep into your own system. You haven't looked into yourself. So that really makes this knowing yourself really difficult for you. And that's why it becomes a blockage in the awakening also. And in return, it gives birth to the mind monsters because you haven't checked your room lately and the room is all messy. And what happens? The fungi blooms, the viruses, it becomes dirty. So that's the regular phenomenon that we experience on the day-to-day life. The same thing happens in the subconscious also. If you don't introspect yourself, you don't get to the bottom of yourself, get to the root causes of your issues, nobody else will, first of all, and you will actually bleed on the most wrong people for the issues that you carry within you. Like, you have the wounds and you'll bleed on the wrong people. You will reflect the toxicity on the wrong people that actually care for you. Why? Because you never practice introspection. So following the lack of introspection comes the state of denial. Denial is the byproduct of the lack of introspection actually. When we don't practice introspection, we subconsciously or in the background, we are practicing denial. And what I mean by denial is, like, the literal meaning of denial is denying, like not recognizing, not taking ownership of your actions, not taking responsibility of your actions. So you constantly practice denial, you constantly ignore your issues. Even if somebody tries hard to show you the mirror, your mirror will reflect your denial. Your mirror won't reflect the reality. The mirror will reflect your denied perspective. At some point, you will be really blinded, you will be delusional. Your perspective will get all foggy. And the most severe outcome of being constantly in the state of denial is, at some point in life, you would completely miss to see the reality. Like what's happening in the reality, your mind will show you the most twisted version of it. At some point, your mind will cook the scenarios, and trust me, those cooked scenarios always taste bitter. So denial brings really severe toxicity into our perspective. So when we constantly practice denial, we actually give birth to a toxic trait, which gives birth to more toxic traits. It becomes a trait like, first of all, we deny our issues, we deny to acknowledge them. We even deny that we have issues, we don't have issues. We constantly practice delusion that we are just perfect, what we are doing is fine, completely fine. We don't take the ownership of our actions towards other people and towards your own self also. So we don't practice introspection, and first we lack the ritual of introspection, then we practice denial. Introspection actually gives the courage to fight back the denial attitude. But if we miss the introspection, we don't know how to get to the root cause, how to get to the roots of any issue. And when we do that, issues, we actually water issues, we actually water wounds. And wounds get severe as the time passes. And still we don't know how to practice introspection, and still we practicing denial in return. So we actually feed our wounds, and we think people are actually hurting us. But on the real grounds, it's us who are hurting ourselves. So this hurting becomes another toxic trait. See, this is a chain reaction, like lack of introspection gives birth to denial, denial gives birth to a toxic trait, and then toxic trait gives birth to more such kind of traits like hurting ourselves, not getting to our wounds, not healing our wounds, not practice healing, not even knowing what actually healing feels like. And then comes the loss of the touch of divinity. It's like when we practice too much of toxic traits, we actually allowing our ego to be heavy on us. And see, we need ego to actually protect us in some ways. And also ego gives purpose to align with your higher self, because when we fight with our ego, that very moment we are actually like in the process of awakening, we are raising our vibration. So we need ego. But when the ego goes heavy on you, the first thing what ego does is keeps you hostage into that toxic trait, hurts you again and again. So in these kind of activities, ultimately we let our childlike spirit to starve, because we are allowing the adult-like ego to be heavy on us. So that very moment, our spirit, our soul, our real essence of divinity starve. And slowly and steadily we go far away from the divine source. And let me be very clear, it's not about being religious. I always talk in the spiritual terms. I always talk in the energetical terms. So when I say divine source, I don't mean worshipping the divine source. Worshipping, I don't resonate with this word anymore. What I actually mean is tune into that high vibrational energy, the highest possible vibration of the cosmos, the center of the cosmos, the divine source. So when we constantly allow ourselves to stay in the low vibration, obviously we are away from the high vibration, and at some point we disconnect from the divinity also. And that's where the mind monsters like really comes into the full power mode. Depression happens, anxiety happens, stress. On the most severe cases like narcissism, bullies, psychopaths, mind, body and spirit are the three gears to actually make you function in the best possible way. But when mind gear shakes, the body gear shakes, because obviously our mental system, when it shakes, it affects each and every cell of our body. So mind gear shakes, body gear shakes, and ultimately the spirit gear shakes. And all the three gears are shaking and your entire system shakes. So here is my part on the mind monsters and what actually causes them.